What are payroll taxes? So payroll taxes were created by the Federal Income Contribution Act. And what this act sought to do is fund two specific government programs, namely the Social Security Trust and Medicare. Social Security is an entitlement for individuals once they reach a certain age that they can receive, again, annuals in the form of somewhat of annuity payments from the government based upon what they've contributed over their lives, over their career. And Medicare pays for health insurance benefits at that point in time as well once you reach a level of retirement. Social Security also has other benefits associated with disability as well. So anyway, these two very important governmental programs are funded almost entirely with contributions from an individual's payroll. And so that's how they took on the name payroll taxes. You'll also hear it referred to as FICA taxes. Okay, now, so what are the obligations here? Well, an employer and an employee both have an obligation to withhold and contribute a certain percentage of an employee's wages to these funds. Okay, so currently in 2023, the current amount is 7.65% from the employer and the employee. So 7.65% is withheld from an employee's wages. The employer matches that percentage and again contributes that to the federal government. Now, this is not limitless. There is a cap on this. So to start with, the Social Security portion. So currently 6.2% of that 7.65% goes towards Social Security. Okay, so now this amount is capped at $160,200 of an employee's salary. So if you make any more than this, then that amount of salary is not subject to FICA taxes, or at least the Social Security portion of it. Now there is a different cap for the Medicare portion, which is again 1.45% currently. This runs up to a certain amount, wages above $200,000 or $250,000 have an additional bump of 0.9%, but there is no cap on this. So this continues to run forever. So if you make $200,000, that entire $200,000 will be subject to the 1.45%. Plus everything above the $160,200 would be subject to the additional 0.9%. And once again, this is the obligation of the employer to withhold this and to contribute it to the federal government. Now, there are certain institutions that are exempt and individuals who are exempt from paying FICA or payroll taxes. Who are these individuals? Well, to start with, ministers and church employees have a general exemption from FICA taxes. Members of certain religious groups who choose to waive their entitlement to Social Security benefits in the future also are exempt, at least from the Social Security portion, if not from the Medicare portion. Students employed by their school under certain scenarios, particularly federal work-study programs, are often exempted here. Foreign students under certain types of visas, because again, they have no Social Security or Medicare entitlement, so they would not be subject to this type of tax. Minors who are employed in a family business and their wages and income generally are reported on the tax returns of their guardian or parent may also be exempted. Non-citizens, again, who have no entitlement to Social Security and Medicare are exempt from these taxes. And then self-employed individuals. Well, I need to mention this. Self-employed individuals are not subject to specifically payroll taxes. They're subject to self-employment taxes, which is basically The portion of the employer and the portion of the employee are combined together and is the obligation of the self-employed individual to pay. So basically they are subject to both sides of the payroll taxes, which is something to remember if you're making wages on your own as a contractor or as a self-employed individual. But a self-employed individual who makes less than $400 of self-employment income a year, again, is not subject to FICA. So these are the general exemptions, and this is what FICA is.